Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, the one and only Ashley Live. This is episode 167, and I am truly honored to bring back my next guest to my show. She's powerhouse singer, songwriter, and guitarist from Seattle, Payge Turner. Now, Paige has an electrifying stage presence. She's known for her raw talent as well as incredible songwriting capabilities. She was featured on season 19 of NBC's hit show The Voice. She was featured on Team Gwen and finished in the top 12. In February, Paige released her powerful rock anthem, Battleborn. So Paige is going to hop in here shortly, and we're going to get this party started. Hey guys, how we doing? Good evening. Hello, hello. When was the first time you heard Paige sing? And did you follow her journey on season 19 of The Voice? Let me know in the comments. She's going to be in here shortly. I love Paige. Paige is amazing. She sang NSYNC. She sang Radiohead. She covered so many incredible songs when she was on The Voice. And Paige is currently on tour as well. So if you guys are looking to support great music and you're in Washington State, please go see my girl, Paige Turner. Hi, Bailey. She was on Team Gwen Stefani. And guys, yesterday, they actually announced season 22 of The Voice's coaches. It's going to be Blake Sheldon. It's going to be John Legend. Gwen Stefani's coming back. And Camila Cabello will be on The Voice. She was actually a mentor on The Voice as well. So it's going to be cool to have some new blood up in there and get to know season 22's new singers. Hello, hello. How are we doing, guys? Paige will be in here shortly. Where is everyone tuning in from? I'm in New York. Where's everybody else based out of? Let me know in the comments. Hey guys. Also, if you were on season 22 of The Voice, which team would you pick? Team Blake, Team John Legend, Team Gwen, or Team Camila? I think that's a hard one. I love all of them. I think they're incredible artists. And I would want to get a 4-chair turn though, definitely. Because when you get a 4-chair turn, you have your choice of which judge you want to get with. And then they all fight over you. So that's, I would definitely want a 4-chair turn if I was in The Voice. Because if only one judge turned, then you have to go with that judge. So Bailey says, I am in Canada. I think if I'm not mistaken, Paige was one of my favorites. I'm sure she was your favorite. Paige is phenomenal. Yes, Paige is so amazing. Season 19. Actually, season 19 was in 2020, which is crazy because it was during COVID, like when COVID first popped off. And now COVID's a little bit more bearable, if you will. So yeah, when I think of the year 2020, it feels like such a long time ago. But yeah, we're kind of getting out of this pandemic. Kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of. Yeah, so Paige was on episode 40 of my show, which was January 2021. And it's May 2022. So it feels like a lifetime ago her and I chatted. A lot can happen in a year. How we doing, guys? What's new? What artists are you listening to? And did anybody in the chat watch the Billboard Music Awards? It was on last night. I watched the Billboard Music Awards. I'm going to be honest, I didn't like 90% of the show, but I always like to know what's going on because if something's trending, I need to know. But a couple of highlights from last night's Billboard Music Awards. For me, Obviously, Silk Sonic. I'm a huge Silk Sonic fan. I love Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. They're amazing. I loved Ed Sheeran's performance. Who else did I love? Ed Sheeran. Who else performed? There were so many performances. It was hard to kind of keep track of who I liked. Oh, Maxwell. So Maxwell did a cover of The Lady in My Life by Michael Jackson because Thriller, the album, turns 40 this year. It was amazing. There was another performance I liked too, but it's I'm drawing a blank right now. I am drawing a blank. The show is long. It's from like 8 to 11, and then there's all these commercial breaks, and then it's just, yeah. And they actually don't show all the awards on TV. It's crazy. Yeah, Maxwell definitely killed it. Definitely Lovey Loves. I know. I wish Maxwell did like a whole Thriller medley because I think every performance last night should have been Maxwell. Hey guys, Paige is in the house. Paige, whenever you're ready, girl, come on in. Let's get this party started. Hello, hello. Hey Andrew, how's it going? There she is. Hi, Paige.
Hello.
How are you?
Lovely. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Paige. I am so excited to have you back on my show, Paige. You are absolutely incredible.
That means so much. I really appreciate that.
Love you as a person, and I also love you as an artist because you were on my show. I was saying before you got in here, you were on episode 40 for me, which was January 2021. Crazy, right?
So crazy. It's so crazy.
Now it's May 2022, and now you're on episode 167. Let's go! So, Paige, thank you so much for spending your evening with me. How's everything going on your end? Talk to me.
It's going great. I am currently sitting in a room, just chilling. I am on tour right now, so I'm having an absolute blast. And I've honestly just been spending a lot of time resting. So a whole lot of just, I'm chill, I'm just chill. I feel like that's a great word to describe it. Chill.
Yes, and I think it's so important that we take that time to relax because you just mentioned you are on tour, and when you're touring, it's go, 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 rehearsals, sound check, this, meeting fans, being on stage. Like there's so much that goes into being a musician performing live. So yeah, I think it's so important to take that time for yourself. Do a face mask, take a nap, call a friend, all about self-care.
Exactly. Literally, I had a show Saturday night, and I was living off of this insane musical high because it was a slammer of a show. Like it was a blast. Everyone was having a good time.
Yeah.
And I literally only slept 2 hours Saturday night, and then Sunday I was just walking around like a zombie because I couldn't. So it was worth it. It was like this weird music high, but at the same time I was like, oh my God, it was the best time ever. So
yeah. And I think sometimes like if you're out doing something, you're with people. I mean, there's definitely been times I'm up till 6, 7 in the morning. I mean, not anymore because I can't hang like that, but I definitely feel like I've had those nights where I'm like, wait, should I even go to sleep or should I just like
yeah.
I love it. So it's May, and it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So I want to talk about some things that you do, Paige, to prioritize your mental health. Talk to us.
Yes. What's really funny is I have changed my routine as of like last fall. Up how I approach things. Before, I really wasn't into meditation. I really wasn't into, sitting with myself. I liked myself, but it wasn't anything that was necessarily me just sitting there and observing. Like I would sit with a guitar or something else. Like that's how I, use that form of healing. But it's to a point where I was like, okay, that can't be the only way, because sometimes I would pick up the instrument and I couldn't even play it because I was in such a distraught place. So I started doing meditation, of course. I know that helps a lot of people. But one of the things I started realizing that was important to my mental health, besides from just meditation, is one, boundaries, two, spending time allowing myself to rest, because our world thinks that we constantly need to be on robot mode.
Yeah.
And I was constantly on robot mode my entire life. So being able to sit down and actually sit down, listen to myself, and take the time to feel the things I was feeling, really huge pivotal point in my mental health. And as much as I don't like sitting in the icky feelings, it's been really beneficial. And I've been starting to kind of look at it a little bit differently, instead of seeing it as, okay, yes, I feel this type of way, but I can also operate in the concept of who I really am. And who I really am aren't these emotions, it aren't these feelings, all these different things. So I can either look at them, approach them that way, see them, and then let them pass through me, like how I let food pass through me. You know what I mean? Food and water pass through me just like that. So why can't the same thing? So I've been approaching it more in that realm.
So meditation, do you sit in complete silence? Do you have music? Do you do a guided meditation?
I can't sit in complete silence sometimes. I wish I could.
Yeah.
I think they're called binaural beats. So basically frequencies. So my favorite frequency right now to listen to during meditation is the alpha frequency, which is, I think, it's in the 700 something, but it's just this high pitched thing that I just sit there and listen to the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Love that, because I think meditation looks different for so many people. Like, I also can't sit in complete silence. I actually need to go on Spotify and listen to someone say, like, breathe in, breathe out. And then I'm like, wait, this person's saying very normal things, but it's just very calming. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. I think our world has, kind of pinned it in a way where meditation needs to be this stillness and sitting in presence. But yes, that's beneficial, but that's not the only way to meditate. Music is meditation, art is meditation, walking outside is meditation, standing in the grass is meditation, lying in your bed and just feeling things is meditation. Any form of allowing yourself to process all the things that's going up here is a form of, or removing yourself some of those things. There's such a stigma and dogma against meditation, and I think we need to open that up a little bit more. So
I completely agree. Now, boundaries. I feel like boundaries always comes up in most of my relationships because people don't respect boundaries. So let's talk about boundaries and why that's so important.
Yeah. It's so funny. I think boundaries is something that's starting to become a newer thing for me, especially, growing up a millennial. We're learning all these different things. We're learning how to stand against the system kind of thing. For me, boundaries vary, especially when it comes to music. That's a really hard place to set boundaries, because you'll have so many people come to you. Now, most of the times I don't even spend outside with my crowd, because it's so much energy. It's so much energy to be in that, then get on the stage, and then go and do it again. It's a lot of energy that I'm giving. And I had to get to a point where I was like, yo, one, you're talking during loud moments, your voice is going to be shot. Two, you've got to save that energy for something else, for performing. And then three, it's just mentally, it's just so much better. It's so much better to really start understanding that, hey, I have these lines that you can't. If you do cross them, yeah, sure, we're gonna have a conversation about it. But at the end of the day, it's so much more better for my mental health to set up stern boundaries and let people know where I am, because at the end of the day, nobody's going home with me but Paige. So
yeah. And I think self-care is one of those things where it's we all have our own certain boundaries, and you just need to listen to yourself. And you're for instance, I feel like sometimes when people call you, some people are like, oh my gosh, if someone's calling me, I need to pick up.
Right.
Yeah. Or someone texts me because my phone's in my hand, but it's
automatic response. Yeah. We're in that phase where people are demanding these things from us, and we have to either take a step back and be like, okay, wait, hold on. I'm as well. My needs also need to be met, and I do not need to constantly be meeting your needs while I'm meeting my needs. Because at the end of the day, like if I'm trying to meet your needs while my needs are not met, then nobody's going to be happy. Nobody's going to be happy.
Exactly. And thank you for clarifying that, because I feel like so many people need to set these boundaries and need to take the time out and just be like, hey, I'm not going to respond to texts for a couple hours, or, oh, I'm going to take a nap and put my phone in do not disturb. Like,
Yeah.
do not disturb is truly one of the best features on my iPhone. I love it.
And they just updated it where you can like even be specific about it. My phone is constantly on do not disturb forever.
I think with social media and texts and all that other stuff. And then like I have some people that like spammers, they'll call me at like 6, 7 in the morning. I'm like, if they were to wake me up out of a deep sleep, I would be so upset.
Honestly, you should be.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I have 3 words for you.
Yes.
90s throwback party.
Yes.
Let's talk about this. For people that don't know what it is 90s throwback party?
So 90s throwback party right now is this tour that I'm a part of with a beautiful, wonderful band named Kawinka.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had an awesome privilege of performing with them 6 years ago when I lived in Kansas City, Missouri.
Cool.
Yeah, we've encountered each other before, and right before that, I was kind of trying to figure out where I was going to move and anything, and they were talking to me about Seattle because they're from here, and they're like, "You should have time," and I was like, "Cool, let me get your contact in case that does happen someday." And sure enough, here I am. And funnily, the entire time of me existing in Seattle, we didn't play anything together. It just didn't line up, and then they were like, "Hey, do you want to do this tour with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, 100%." We've been meeting for a hot minute. Shout out to KC. Yes, you're right. And I was like, that sounds like a blast. I was born in the 90s. I grew up with 90s music. My mom raised me well.
Yeah.
So I 100% was like, let's do this. So basically what it is we're coming together as both bands, bringing the different dynamics of what we bring. We'll do our original sets, and then we'll come together and we'll break out in this giant 90s thrash beautifulness where everyone can just like let loose and dance and just have a good time. And then we all are on stage acting crazy, just being ourselves and being, musicians. And it's such a privilege to be a part of that, because oftentimes it's taken so seriously, you know what I mean? And then, people want to sing along with you with what you're doing. And, sometimes they don't know your originals, which, hey, learn our originals. It's great. You have area where you're feeding the people, then they're giving back to you. So it's a beautiful thing to experience that give and take. Now we get to experience that entire thing when we incorporate, them singing along with us. So it's been a journey, and it's been so beautiful. And we have really awesome special guests that have been joining us, including Thunderstorm from 18 of The Voice. So that's been beautiful. So yeah, Thunder's joining us at the end of the tour for a grand finale of stuff. So I'm pretty excited to be part. I've actually done shows with Thunder before, so I'm excited to do it again.
So as far as 90s music and singing along with 90s music, are there a couple 90s songs that you just are obsessed with?
Yes, of course. No Scrubs, TLC. It's at the end, but it's worth it. I'm a Britney Spears fan, so any in Britney's discography that was in the 90s, I'm pretty sure I can sing it to you top to bottom. So yeah.
Oh, love it. Of course, like we think of Britney now, but like when Britney first came out and she was doing Hit Me Baby One More Time, like that was a whole nother Britney.
Oh yeah. Do you remember those little things, those little discs that you would get? It was this little it was like children's versions of a Walkman, and it would be like you would insert these little discs, and it would be like 15 seconds of a song.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? And I think I had like 4 Britney Spears songs, some Spice Girls and some Destiny's Child or something in there. And Hit Me Baby One More Time was one of them, and I was like, always.
I love it that you were like Destiny's Child and Spice Girls, because you just named like a bunch of 90s girl groups that was the 90s.
100%.
Yeah. So cool. Wait, do you have any of those like just chilling, like any of those discs?
I wish. I wish. If I can find those again, I keep them around. That is one of the best toys that was ever invented for children. So.
Oh, definitely. But now it's like it's crazy how music has evolved to like Spotify and just like getting any piece of music within 3 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's gotten to the point where it's like I mean, if I'm gonna call it out, if you notice in the live, you see people just fluctuating, right?
Yeah.
It's just we're in this place of instant gratification. So
Right.
if you can't entertain me within the first 10 to 15 seconds of my existence in your presence, then I gotta go. And
Yeah.
if you want 15 to 20-second entertainment, then sure, go for it. But that's not what I'm about. So.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. So talk to me about life on tour. What do you like most about touring?
Oh, that's a good question. I think personally, what I really enjoy about a tour is the many different artistic connections that I make. And see how many different artists that you encounter in these cities and so forth.
Yeah.
But for sure, it's starting to recognize your demographic in different locations because you have no idea what you're pulling until it shows up in front of your face, and you're like, damn, I didn't even know I had that many people like actually into what I'm doing. So I think that's been a pleasure, but also just being able to be a vessel of healing for other people has been such a journey for me. So.
Yeah, and it's got to be so cool to be in a room and people sing your songs back to you and then they like you feel the energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's different level, and I don't think people understand how important that is for an artist, for you to just sit and listen and sing back to us, because I mean we feed off of that, and that's what we're here to do. So when you
Yeah.
do that, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be so cool for you to be on stage, sing a song, and then like maybe lock eyes with someone and then they sing with you and you're like, "Wait, they're singing."
I had experiences like that on this tour, and I was like, I witnessed some people singing Coinka's songs, and I was like, oh my god, my heart, and they were just jamming in front. And then there was one point, the first show I did with them, I've been mainly acoustic on this one, stripped back. And the first show that I did with them was in their hometown,
Mhm.
and the draw was incredible. But there was this lady standing in the front row, didn't know my songs or anything, but she literally was like pouring herself out, and she like at some point she was like, oh my god, you're so beautiful. And apparently I missed this, but they told me after, she was like literally like praying in front and just crying and just experiencing this beautiful spiritual moment. And like that to me is what this is all about. Like I'm the musician, but I'm here to heal with you and to watch someone going through in that process. Like it's incredible.
Yeah, that's got to be so cool. Like she was like praying and like it's a spiritual
And it
journey.
wasn't to me or anything, but it was like it was clear that it was something spiritual for her, and she was encountering something, and I love that.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. So in 2020, you were on a show called The Voice, season 19. So now we're in 2022, which is crazy. But looking back on your journey on The Voice, what did you learn from that time on the show?
So many things. Um, I would say there's a lot of stuff that I learned, but the one thing that really sticks out to me was learning about myself as an artist. For the most part, my upbringing was, music, but I never really dove into it until high school, college,
Mhm.
and I started playing instruments right off the bat, and that was an incredible experience for me. But what the voice really did for me was take away those instruments, because I didn't really have, I had the option, of course, but it was more so focusing on my voice, because it's called a voice for a reason. So I took back everything, stripped back everything. And one of the things that was really beneficial for me throughout that process was just how much I connected with the artistry of just my voice. And that changed my world to like the smithereens, like seeing everyone's reaction to Creep
Yeah.
really, really set something in me that I was like, I mean, I watched it, of course,
Yeah.
and I was, yeah, it was a really great performance, but then actually watching it and understanding the artist in that, I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was like some other higher version of myself, but like watching that experience and seeing myself in those moments made me really tap into the true authenticity, that's the word, authenticity of, artistry, and realizing who I really was as an artist beyond just, my songwriting. So it was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have people reach out to you, like they're watching it on YouTube. They're reaching out to you on Instagram, like worldwide fans, and say like, hey, Paige, I just saw your rendition of Creep by Radiohead and XYZ.
Yeah. Thinking back to that performance, because like no one knows what goes on behind the scenes, so you never know what it's gonna get. But like that entire day was really hectic for me. I was going through a lot in my personal life. I was super stressed out, and we're gonna be honest because we're friends. Right before I left, I had a shot of whiskey, which I always have whiskey before I perform, but it's just small amounts. And I was like, I got to do a full shot. I got to do. The funniest thing is when I did the shot, it wasn't like I didn't perform till way later. I just needed it for that moment,
Right.
And I just remember getting up on the stage. I knew what was going to come out the moment I stood on the stage, because even in rehearsals, we were talking about it. And, Gwen was like, hey, I would love it if, you brought that emotion. I was like, I can't bring this yet, because if I bring this right now, it's going to be a different level. I cried at rehearsals. It wasn't showing it was showing a little bit on the TV, but I was like full on crying on those rehearsals with Usher and stuff like that. It's a heavy song. And all I wanted to do was tap into those places. And in the moment that I was on the show, I felt every single ounce of those lyrics and every ounce of those chords and every ounce of the melody. And the moment that I was able to present it, which I was scared because it's Creep and I'm a brown person and I sing soul, and it's just not expected of us. So the moment I opened my mouth, I was gone, blacked out. But after that, hearing the judges and what they had to say, clearly it was something that, was monumental, and it was just such a privilege. And now it's ranked the top 8 covers in America. Like that is mind-boggling to me, that it's like Billboard is blasting this nonsense, and I'm confused by it. So
but I'm so happy that you gave that performance to us, because I mean, we all know the original Radiohead cover, or the Radiohead song, right? But take this cover and you just pour every ounce of your being into it, the raw, honest, vulnerable parts of yourself. And it's like, that's what they say on the show The Voice. They say, wherever you need to be to get into this song 150%, go there. Like if you cry, if you need to be angry, if you need to start laughing, well, obviously we wouldn't laugh in the middle of this song, but like, you know what I mean? Like you have to tap into those lyrics and just be like, how can I put myself in that spot to deliver these lyrics in such a way?
Yeah, agreed. And that's exactly what I needed to do. And, Gwen flat out told me, she was like, I'm nervous for this one. I'm not going to lie to you. Girl, I'm nervous too. What you talking about? Like, she's like, this could be the song that sends you home, Paige. And I was like, I know. This is the one song I have to not fail. And man, something took over, and I was very grateful for that, that opportunity to stand on the stage and present myself in such a vulnerable position. So
yes. And thank you for doing that, because like with musicians, the more honest and vulnerable you are with yourself, the more people you're able to reach.
That's all that it's about, man. That's all that it's about.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that performance.
Get it. I appreciate it.
Of course. What advice would you give to yourself before walking out to your blind audition?
What advice would I have given to Paige? Honestly, nothing.
Really?
Yeah, nothing. I don't think there's anything that could have prepared me for that moment. Nothing. It doesn't matter if somebody told me it's going to be so chill. You're going to they're going to just like love you, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter what anybody can tell you. Like nothing can prepare you for that moment at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of like smile and hope that you don't pass out, and hope that you know how to walk.
Hope you don't forget the lyrics. Hope
Yeah.
you don't hope you don't puke. All those things. All those things are going through your head on a spiral. So
Yeah. Did you black out during your blind audition?
1,000%. 1,000%. I remember walking on the stage, giving a thumbs up and like guns to the bassist, getting behind my mic, hearing the intro come out. Then the first word that came out of my mouth, like maybe like 10 seconds after that, I was gone. Completely gone. I don't remember a crap about that performance.
Do you remember when Gwen and Blake turned for you, or were you like not
Oh,
even
I turned because that was the moment that I was like, okay, time to perform. It's time to perform. And it was great. I remember flinging the mic stand, but not knowing where it went. I just remember just throwing it back, and that was it.
Heck yes. Love it. So you went on Team Gwen. If you could sing a song with your coach, Gwen Stefani, what song would you sing and why?
Um, it doesn't have to be a Gwen song, right?
Does not.
Okay. If I were to sing a song with Gwen Stefani, it'd probably be something super emotional.
Yeah.
I feel like the perfect song to sing with her would be, let's go with one of her songs, because honestly, she's just, I mean, when she's in her element, she's in her element. And
Yeah.
I like don't speak. I mean, that's a cliche one, but I would love to actually like tap into that moment with her, because you can tell that there's something behind those lyrics, and there's something behind what she's singing, and to be able to experience that with her, you know? Yeah.
And I feel like when that song came out, and I don't know exactly the year it came out, it was sometime in the 90s.
Yeah.
I would love to see you guys do that. Like, this needs to happen.
But I honestly, I've been contacting my agent. I was like, hey, so if we can find a way to, sing with Gwen, that'd be fabulous.
Yeah.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Maybe someday we'll make it happen.
You know what? We need to manifest this and put this into the universe.
Exactly.
Because when you write it down and you write it on your mirror and you sing it into your mirror and you think about it first thing when you wake up, like, the power of manifestation is so real. And it's like, I see this because two powerful, beautiful, raw, amazing women together singing Don't Speak. Like,
Yeah.
the world needs to hear this.
Honestly, I agree.
Yeah.
We need to just hit up Gwen right now.
Gwen or Blake.
What's that?
Gwen or Blake, because honestly, like, however you can get there, you can get there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So I want to talk about a relationship with one of your friends on the show, Lauren Freehoff. So you met her during your time on The Voice, and you guys are so close. So let's talk about the friendship that you have with Lauren.
Yes. Lauren is, how do I even explain the gift that human being is? I didn't expect it, first of all. Lauren and I met before blinds, walking off the elevator, her and her mom walking off the elevator, and they were like, oh my gosh, you're another School of Rocker. And I was like, yeah. So I taught there, and she went to School of Rock. So we connected that, and it was a beautiful moment. But after that, we really didn't talk. And then I remember when we got assigned it, we were over on Zoom.
Yeah.
And we got the song, and both of us were like, what the hell is that song? Like, never heard of it in our entire lives. We were like, God, we are about to learn a song we don't know, and we have to rearrange it in like a couple weeks. Cool, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
And other like that either. And so we set up a Zoom call, and automatically I knew it was game over. Like, not game over for us necessarily, but in my opinion, I knew it was game over for everybody else, because I knew when we sat down and discussed our intention of the song, which was just to both exist in unity together and not battle each other,
Right.
that it was going to be something that was going to be different for The Voice. The Voice is typically used to battle. They even told us that. They were like, we're used to people trading off the lyrics and all these different things. And we were like, well, we're not doing that. We're going to be joining together. So they were like, okay, if it works, it works. And it sure did. And then after that, like, I remember one day I was like, hey, what are you doing? And she's got a goofy personality.
Mm-hmm.
I texted her. I was like, what are you up to? About to eat and watch Portlandia with my mom. And that was like the end. I love Portlandia. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming to watch Portlandia with you. Are you kidding? Point on, like, we still talk every day, whether it's on Instagram or via text message, but we just FaceTime today.
Yeah.
And she's currently in Nashville right now. But honestly, Lauren has taught me so much with music, and she's taught me so much about even just existing as a person. She's 18, but she's beyond her years. She's so incredibly gifted and so incredibly mature for her age, and just a gem of a human being. Anybody that encounters a child, like, be blessed, because that's
Yeah.
what you're encountering her. So
Yeah. And it's so cool that The Voice brought you guys together, and then it just was like magic. And you're like, oh my gosh, like Lauren is so amazing. I get to work with her and we're friends. And like, that's gotta be so cool.
It's so cool. And we figured out, like, we're practically each other's like soulmates. So
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. Like, she's was born 3 days before me, technically. Like, we're both in the same birth week. We just love the same silly, goofy things, and it was an automatic connection. I think she's like, her and Chloe and Lariah are the only people that I really super connected with on the show, and it's a great thing, because it's a lonely journey, you know, being on The Voice. So
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I feel like it's going like to summer camp, and the only people that understand are the people that were there with you. And yeah, I'm sure you've connected with other people from other seasons, but it's like we were going through this like during COVID.
yeah, I've had conversations with so many other people from the other seasons. Like, the main connections that I have were from season 18, the one before me. So I talked to Thunderstorm, and I had a really awesome friendship with Cedrice. I have an awesome friendship with Cedrice, and you know, we've talked about, you know, our experiences and how different what it was for us, because they also experienced COVID on their season too. So we've had conversations, and you know, it's beautiful to see how there is that connection, and we're always going to have that connection with each other, and can, you know, it's almost like healthy trauma bonding in the best way.
Yeah. Because you know what you guys are going through. And I think as a musician, you kind of need to find like your people who get it, because sometimes I feel like as a musician, I'm sure you have friends that are not musicians, but when you try to talk to them about, hey, I was writing this song and like I didn't know where to go with it, and then this chord progression, like they don't get it like your musician friends get it.
100%. Like, so many people ask me weird questions, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer your question. So like, they ask me musical questions all the time, and I'm like, that's really vague. But if I were to answer this in a non-vague way, this is how I would, you know, respond to it. But yeah, there is definitely a lack there of being able to communicate in that effective way with people that don't understand it. But I like to try to help people understand. So
Definitely. So your debut album came out last summer. What do you want fans to take away from this project?
ooh, honestly, vulnerability. This entire album is about vulnerability, something that I got stripped of as a child.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily, so I guess I got stripped of it pretty much my upbringing. It was definitely something I didn't have access to. But I think home really touches on the concept of home and what home really is to, you know, you as a person. And to me, when I started, I remember doing an interview about it after, and I realized, like, it sat with me, and I think I cried in the interview, because I was like, I didn't know that's what I meant. It's always the case. Like, majority of the time I'll write, and I'm like, I don't know what this means, until way later, and it hits me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm bawling about this stuff that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And I just remember saying, you know, home to me really was something that set with me in stone when I realized that the home existed inside of me. And the album really, really is like reaching out to touch you in that place, because it takes you down this, I want to say, it's a climatic journey, because it starts off big, and then it brings you down and makes you feel things, and it brings you back up, and then it takes you in this like blown out place where you don't even know where you are. And that's really important to me, because I feel like that's what life is. Life is very much a roller coaster, and it brings you into the different nuances of what you're feeling. And my objective with music is to be so in tune with the feelings of what's happening that it just taps in through the ear real quick. And then you're like, damn, I didn't even know I needed to work on that. And that's really what I want people to take away from the album. It's just this place of authenticity with yourself and finally sitting with you and being like, okay, but what do I need? Where's my hiding place? Where's my home? Where are all these things? It's to really start questioning yourself and questioning your surroundings. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think it's a good realization for people, not only just during COVID, but to hear this music and to be like, oh, I'm kind of emotional hearing this song. Like, why do I feel so emotional? And you're like, oh my gosh, this song brought me back to middle school, and I was going through this, and nobody knew I was going through it. And you're like, I haven't thought of that since I was in 7th grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's music. To me, music is meant to be like medicine. It's healing. It's meant to bring up things that you had no idea existed. It taps into the places that you have no idea even exist.
Right.
And that's what I want is that place of like, oh crap, now I have to go back to high school and deal with this basically shit that I haven't dealt with before. And now I have to bring like that to me is the true definition of self-care. One, true definition of vulnerability and just being okay with yourself, and the definition of home. Like that's what home is.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's so powerful, because I feel like so many people don't want to go to those dark places. And it's like, listen, you need to take the baggage and go through it. It's not fun. You're going to cry, but you need to go through it just to have a better feeling of yourself and be like, oh, okay, well, like, I'm not blaming myself for this, but like, I know why this happened and it taught me this.
right, exactly. But I mean, we don't really have the greatest example of mental health, in the entire world.
Yeah.
It's understandable that we're taught to view things in a suppressive way. Like I was born in the island, and my mom's side of the family is pretty open. And then there's side of the family that's Middle Eastern Indian, and they're so suppressive. I learned all my suppression from them. Like I wasn't allowed to cry when my grandma died. I wasn't allowed to cry during specific things. Like it takes a toll on you, and walking around with that shit on a regular basis eventually wears you down. It starts affecting your body, not just your mentality, but your body, and how long you live on this earth is so intuitive to your brain too. So
definitely. Yeah. And like when your family or your surroundings are like, hey, you can't cry, or oh, you can't get mad, you can't get sad, like, and you're taught to suppress your feelings, you're like, whoa, wait, I have to get this out.
Right.
Gotta come out.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And really and truly, that's the only thing you can do right now. And that's something that I'm starting to understand myself too, So.
Yeah. So for people that maybe were brought up in a way similar to that, or said like, hey, you can't be angry, or hey, you're not allowed to cry ever, what advice do you have for those people?
That's a hard place to be. It really is. Like at that point in my life is pretty dark, I would say. And I don't know if it necessarily was lonely in a sense, but it was. You could probably say it's lonely. Yeah. For me, I think the best advice that got me through those times was faith. Faith got me through those times. But I think now, if I were to give somebody advice about situations like that, would be boundaries.
Yes.
Come in hard. Like we think that family means no boundaries and you don't need to set up boundaries with your family, but those are the places that you need to set the most boundaries, in my opinion. Not family has anything like are trying to mess you up or anything. Like that's never the case. It's always, okay, well, you have this much access into my life because I grew up with you. But at the end of the day, family can be, turmoil at the end of the day. So you have a choice whether or not you choose to react in it in a way where you take what is being said to you and you absorb it, or you take what's being said to you and you filter and process what actually stands with you. Because at the end of the day, my family is my family and they're my blood, but they're not me. They don't live my life. So Yeah, I'm my own individual, so I have to live with what's best for me. And if that means setting a boundary, saying like, hey, you no longer can say these things to me, then so be it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's so powerful that you said that. And I think sometimes people when they say boundaries, so they put boundaries on certain situations, it's like, "Oh, you're being mean by setting a boundary." And it's like, "No, I'm like trying to protect myself."
Yeah, me setting a boundary is beneficial for you as well, because when I don't set boundaries, resentfulness comes in, like, not,
Exactly.
but it's like this feeling of like, oh God, here we are again, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I don't get resentful very often, but if it gets to that point, then clearly it's a two-way street. Like, I'm not doing anything that's beneficial for me, and they're not doing anything beneficial for both of us at this point if we're trying to push these boundaries. So
Totally. Yeah, I definitely think boundaries is one of those things that came up a lot for me during COVID because right, we just had all this time on our hands to
yeah,
do things, and it's kind of like, do I like what I'm doing as a job? Do I like where I'm living? Do I like the people I'm surrounding myself with? Like you literally question everything, and you're like, oh, I gotta cut that off, or I need to like make sure I'm doing a good job at this specific relationship, or I need to work on this, or maybe I need to eat better, or I need to, stop drinking, whatever it might be, right?
right. That stuff is so important. It's so important. And yeah, the pandemic helped so much with a lot of people understanding those things, because we got stripped away from the things that we were forced to have to do, forced to have to survive, to live, to go work so you can exist as a human being on the planet. Like,
Yeah.
it's full on you. Like, those are not, we're not naturally meant to work our butts off in order to survive.
Yeah. And a lot of people honestly don't like their jobs. And you think of all the time you spend at a job, right? And it's like you spend more time at work than you like literally in your house.
Yeah, it's important to like what you're doing, because it is your life, and
Yeah.
you can choose. I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to say, I don't really have an option but to work this 9 to 5, but there's always options.
There's
Oh,
all and you
always.
also have to do what you're passionate about and what drives you. And like if you have a specific passion to like go for it and don't look back.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard, but man, that it's worth it. It's worth it when you find it. You know what I mean?
Totally. So I want to talk about life in Seattle. Now you've lived there how long?
About a little 6 years, I think, 4 or 5 years, something.
Something. 4 to 6 years, give or take, right?
Something. Not.
What made you gravitate towards Seattle?
I wish I could give you an answer. One of the biggest things I know for a fact, other things I don't know. I know for a fact this was one of them. The nature. The nature here,
Dang.
incredible, incredible. You have the like all plains over here. You've got the desert, which is an hour away. You've got the rainforest an hour away. You've got
Mhm.
20 minutes away.
Yep.
And got snow probably like 3 hours. Not even 3 hours away, an hour away as well too. So if you want to encounter all different terrains, then Washington is the place for you. And I wanted to always be involved in nature, so Washington was definitely the place I needed to be.
So as far as being out in nature, do you have any cool things or like parks or places that you'd recommend that you absolutely love?
Yes. So if you're ever out in the Washington area, you want to get outside of the city for the best hikes of your life. Like, the city hikes are great.
Yep.
I personally prefer less trafficked hike. And I like to enjoy my hikes instead of just stumbling upon people. So I go far west or a little bit east. So like the desert area I really liked. But if you're wanting rainforest and you're wanting to see beautiful eagles, whales, foxes, all those things, then definitely going to the west side of Washington is your best bet. Like, I loved going to Rialto Beach, which is super far, which is where the book Twilight was based, in Forks, Washington.
Oh,
So
cool.
that was my first encounter of Washington, and that's how I fell in love with Washington. So,
Any other places that you'd recommend?
um, yes, San Juan Islands. San Juan Islands would be one of the best places to go. It is one where you can see the orca whales, but two, it is secluded. It's right out. It's like you take a ferry over there.
Yep.
It's not right outside of the city. It's a little bit of ways, but at the end of the day, like, it's still accessible by the city. So if you ever just want to go on a day trip, it's super great. And it's kind of like that country farm life, but like hippie kind of thing out there, and I really like it.
Yes, very cool. So as far as like things to do in Seattle, like music venues or restaurants, do you have any favorite places?
Restaurants, no, because it's there's so much out here.
Yeah.
Um, but venue wise, my favorite venue is Barboza, which is, I believe, underneath this venue called Numos. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. So,
Mhm.
but it's one of my favorite venues. Just because the acoustics in there are amazing.
Yeah.
This always amazing, and just every time I'm there, I have a great time. So it must just be the place. The place has just got this incredible vibe. It kind of has a vibe of like a speakeasy. I
Yep.
love it.
Love
Yeah,
that. Love when you go in a place like a music venue and you're just like, oh, this energy. It just like everything aligns where it's supposed to.
yeah, agreed, agreed.
Very cool. I want to talk about the power of manifesting. We touched on it earlier, but I think it's really important to talk about manifestation and what it's done for you in your life.
Manifestation. Funnily enough, I didn't encounter that until The Voice,
Mhm.
so still pretty new to me. And understanding the concept of like the law of attraction, the
Yeah.
law, all those things. Um, Manifestation to me is still something that I'm grasping because I come from a very evangelical Christian upbringing, but translate into context has been a journey. Manifestation to me is like prayer, prayer or worship. And uh, that's been so beneficial for me in so many different levels. Like, obviously, I manifested the voice into my existence. But especially this year, last year, I dabbled a little bit with it, but I wasn't too sure about it. But this year, the level of things that I have brought into my reality from just
Mhm.
existing in a presence and being and existing in this timeline,
Yeah.
knowing that there is no such thing as time to begin with, and understanding that has broadened so much more for me in a lot of ways, because the time is our biggest illusion right now. And it's so easy to think of time and thinking that you can't accomplish these things because you don't have enough time, or there wasn't enough time in the past, or whatever the situation is, whatever the excuse is.
Yeah.
And breaking out of that was enough for me to really grasp how to bring things into my reality. And knowing Christianity taught me that I wasn't worth it.
Hmm.
If I'm being very honest, Christianity taught me I wasn't worth the love of Christ, wasn't worth the love of God, wasn't worth these multitude of things that would come into my reality. And not necessarily wasn't worth it, but it was more so of like I am the person that's just going to experience these things, and like I'm privileged to experience those things. No, those things are literally gifted to me. There's no privilege. It's
Yeah.
mine. That's not how that works.
Hmm.
So removing myself from that lens was really difficult. It's very difficult to remove myself from that place of, okay, am I worthy for whatever is coming towards me? Damn straight I am.
Yeah.
Damn straight I am. It wouldn't be in my presence if I wasn't worthy of it. And I am worthy of it before it even comes to me. So I've already created it, therefore it will come to me.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that.
Hmm. So as far as like manifesting things, is this something that you do daily?
Yes, yes, every day. So
So
I have
you write it down or how do you do it?
um I try to do it a lot in meditation, and a lot of the things that I manifest are not necessarily physical things. It's more manifesting um just God power, just like manifesting my existence on this earth, mainly manifesting the energy levels that I need for the day.
Yeah.
Um, and that in itself is just a process of sitting with myself and grounding myself with the earth, grounding myself in the presence of God, source, whatever you want to call it, and then grounding myself within myself. So understanding here, it's a connective system. So understanding here, here, here kind of thing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, the other form of manifestation that I do is I use Nicholas Tesla's method, which I just started this one. It's the 369 method.
Hmm.
Um, and all that it is you write down three things that you want to manifest into your reality,
Hmm.
and 6 times, and then you spend 9 seconds feeling. the existence of that. And that's been, I haven't seen those come into fruition yet because I just started it recently before I started tour. So that's been a huge pivotal thing in my journey, and just watching how the things that I manifested back in like December have come into fruition too. So it's just, it's a figuring out thing for me because there's so many different ways of manifesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool. There's all these different types of things. Like I know people, and maybe you said this last time you were on, people write things on their mirror. So when they look at themselves in the mirror, like they see it.
Yeah.
When they brush their teeth, when they brush their hair, when they're washing their face. Some people write things down, some people journal. Then there's like that whole meditation prayer thing where maybe you just like sit with it for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that at the end of the day, whatever you're putting out into the universe or into the cosmos, or what you want to call it, is always manifestation. So every moment and every second of your day is a form of manifestation. So the words that you choose, or like we've talked about the 4 agreements. One of the biggest things that he says to me, he says in there, is your words are power. They're magic in itself. Like people think that magic is this whole witchcraftery stuff. No, magic is manifestation. Magic is prayer. Magic is sitting down with yourself and writing out these different things. Magic, there's no such thing as a damn wand to do all kinds of, I'm sure there is, but no, it's Hollywood portraying something that doesn't actually really exist. But yeah, the manifestation comes with how you choose to think. Your brain itself manifests things on a active basis. So if you're thinking negatively or thinking of something that you don't want in reality, bet your ass it's coming into your reality, because you're thinking about it and you're giving energy to it. So the moment that you give energy to something, it's going to come to you. So every moment is that moment of manifestation. So I have a choice. I have a choice whether or not I want to manifest the things that I do want and the things that I don't want.
Yeah.
So.
Because when you think things and you say positive things come to you. But if you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't like my friend. She just said this. She lies about this, such and such and such. Because when you think about that negativity, it comes to you. But when you choose to have a positive outlook on things and just speak kindly to yourself and to other people, it just comes back to you.
Right. And there is that level of toxic positivity that exists. You have to really, and no one's saying that you need to be positive all the time. Damn straight feel your things if you have to feel it. But the concept of that is feel it, let it flow through you, and then let it exit. It has no place inside of you. So if you have the choice to sit there and sit in negativities and feel it for a moment, then yeah, do it. Do it. That's positivity to me. It's positive that you are trying to energize, like release whatever you're feeling out into the, so you have a choice, to either view positivity as just, I'm gonna think positive thoughts, because that's almost impossible. Your subconscious is always going to be spiraling and telling you all kinds of different things. But separating yourself from your body and your mind and understanding that you are a existence without those things is super essential.
Yeah, and that's so powerful. And thank you so much for talking about that, because I think it's so important to talk about it all the time, but definitely during Mental Health Awareness Month, because I feel like a lot of people struggle with mental health and self-care and all these things. And I think it's so important that we bring these things to the surface, and like people will learn from us and we'll learn from other people just by having conversations like this. You know what I mean?
So true. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Paige, what's coming up with you in the next couple months? We have more tour dates. We have collaborations. Talk to us. What's up?
I have a lot of shows. That's what's in my books right now. So the goal is to continue to obviously put out music, but we're working really hard on some music right now, and making sure that is, palatable to everybody's ears. But expect shows upon shows upon shows upon shows. But also, if you've been to my shows previously, like in the past couple of years, I'm kind of sort of a different. You still hear me? My don't
You cut a little bit, but you're good now.
My don't disturb turned off, so I was like, no, that's got to stay on. But yeah, a bunch of shows, and understanding that the level the level of Paige Turner that has been curating all these different things, it's going to be a different level. So every single show that you're going to experience is going to be something different. Yep. But at the same time, if you've experienced me in the past, it's great. But right now, it's a different level of experience. So if you do have the opportunity to come to a show, definitely pull up. They're different, and I can't explain it because I'm living it, and I can't explain what it's experienced, but when I'm in it, I know what's going on in the room, and everybody, it's almost like we leave the planet for a second. So yeah,
that's cool. Guys, go see Paige on tour. She has a lot of tour dates coming up. She wants to see you. She wants to feel your energy in the crowd. So for the beautiful people watching right now that said, I love Paige, how can I support you? What do you say to those people?
The best ways that you can support me, which I'll drop links here later after everything, but Spotify is one of the best ways that you can support an artist. Not just me, everybody. Yeah. But Spotify, and yeah, really and truly Spotify, and sharing the shit out of all of our stuff, because as you can tell, Instagram has its new algorithms and no one's seeing anything. So share, like, listen, and learn my lyrics some more. There we go. Yeah.
I love that. And definitely add the music to playlists, because that's also extreme.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, because if you have playlists, like Sunday morning playlists, add the songs to the playlist. That definitely helps.
Yes, definitely does.
Share and go see Paige on tour. So Paige, that's all the questions I have for you. But guys, don't go anywhere. Paige is going to perform for us. Whenever you're ready.
All right. It had a lag there for a second. I was like, wait. You know. All right. So I'm going to perform a couple of slow tunes for you guys. Me down, lead the way, my garden's open. Soft, but now, leave me here, let me go. Oh, might I find my own bed and bone? Oh, might I feel too much, go too deep? Oh, might I let me go? How did I just let my guard down? Milk and honey, oh, you know this tastes so bitter. The sun to come after the rain. You should ease your mind, let it go. Oh, might I find my own bed and bone? Oh, might I think too much, go too deep? Oh, might I let me go? How did I just let my guard down? Oh, might I find my own bed and bone? Oh, might I think too much, go too deep? Oh, might I let me go? How did I just let my guard down? and born. Oh my, I feel too much, go too deep. Oh my, I let me go. I just let my guard down.
Woo! Thank you, Paige.
There. I got a song for you. This one's new, so you can't judge. Oh, I wasn't just dreaming. I waited for me. So slowly you found me. You showed the way to be free. Set on fire, made to blaze. Oh, consuming flame. Oh, it's all that I could give. Oh, freedom within me. Oh, sacred unity. Left me holy, safe within. Ooh, hey, oh, hey. Set on fire, made to blaze. Oh, consuming fire. Oh, it's all that I can give. feminine is home. Love me through the storm. Divine feminine is home. Leave it up to me to break the cycle. Now it's up to me to fight. I've been through the storm. Divine feminine. Oh.
Yay, Paige! Thank you. That was gorgeous. Was that an Ashley Live exclusive?
That was an Ashley Live exclusive.
Amazing. What was the name of that song?
I call that song Sacred, and it's talking about really and truly sitting down and unconditionally, radically loving yourself to the point where you understand your divinity. And the end of it's my favorite because it talks about breaking cycles. The lyrics are, leave it up to me to break the cycles. Now it's up to me to fight. Love me through the storm. Divine feminine is home, which I believe that we are all created in divine feminine and masculine energy. And for me, mine is divine feminine that reigns the most, and she's finally home. So
I love it. It's so beautiful. So Paige, do you have some time for a couple questions?
yeah, definitely.
Beautiful. So guys, if you're in the chat right now and you have questions for Paige, please put them in the comments below.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I see you. Let me just do a little scroll up. I see Leah's in here. Kerwin's in here. Ray is in here. Mel's Tree Eats is in here. Who else is in here? Lainey. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. We feel the love. Thank you. There is a little bit of a delay, so we're going to hang tight.
If you don't have any questions, that's totally okay. If you just want to send hearts, that's fine.
What does success mean to you?
Ooh. Oh, that is a heavy hitter. Who did that?
I know.
Who did that? What does success mean to me? I feel like success to me is when, this is going to be really cheesy, and I promise you that I didn't try to be this cheesy, but when people shoot me messages and tell me about how much my music has impacted them and how, they felt a type of way when I was singing, that to me is the definition of success. Success. That's the definition of success for me, is when you tap in and reach that one person. I don't even care if I touch 10 people. As long as I'm touching one person, that's the definition of success for me. And I know that sounds so cliche, but I genuinely mean that. Like like I will cry when you send me those messages, because that's just that's what this is about for me. So yeah.
I love that. So beautifully said, because I think sometimes people don't want to reach out to their favorite musician and say, hey, I love this track because I'm going through this and I feel the same way. So thank you for making me feel like I'm not alone. So guys, if you love the music, send Paige these messages, because as a musician, getting these messages, it just warms your heart.
I'm reading the questions at the bottom. I think I have some shows in South Seattle coming up. I can't remember. Probably. And then, do I like flying? Do I like flying? I don't like flying on a plane.
You do.
It's not that I don't enjoy the journey of flying. Flying annoys me. Why do they make seats that no one's butt can fit in? I have a butt, which means that I need space for that. And it doesn't work that way. And it drives me insane. And I cannot sleep on planes. And it's a 3-hour journey sometimes. And it's a torture. But I
Yeah,
feel like
planes are not fun. And I always feel so cramped in a plane. Like, I feel like my knees, I feel like I'm in a cannonball every time I'm in a plane seat.
there were planes that had like couches in them back in the day. We need to go back there. We need to go back when
What? Ray says, what was the most difficult part about learning to truly love yourself?
Ooh, God, y'all are just coming with the questions. Just a second. I got 8%. That's enough to get us a long ways.
Okay.
I charged my phone before this, but I have a slow charger right now. I lost my.
No worries.
The most difficult part about loving myself, I think, would be sitting with myself. I'm a runner in the sense of running from my emotions because that's what I was taught to do. So sitting with it is one of the most difficult parts about loving myself. I'm very, 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 very grateful to have been raised by a mother who taught me about strength, personal strength, and loving yourself and all those different things. So it's not something I struggled with in an insane way like most people do. I do struggle with it a lot. There's no denying that. But there are ways that I know where I struggle with it that make it really difficult to love. Like, I am high key a perfectionist in ways.
Mm-hmm.
Part's not my favorite part to love. I also am really, really, really intense. It's either I get that I'm too intense, too intimidating, too passionate, all these different things.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing for me that has been a part of that journey is dealing with the thoughts of, how others perceive me and stuff like that. And it really just comes down to sitting with you. And I know it sucks. It sucks to sit and really, really spend time with that voice in your head. But once you start talking back to it and talking to the inner child that spent so many years, and mine was in a dungeon in a completely different dimension. I kept her far away. And the moment that I started bringing her in, I used to have panic attacks when I would cry because I wasn't used to it. And I would have full-blown, like, hour-long panic attacks. And the moment that I finally sat down and felt all the shit, all the ick, all the trauma, all those things, man, it sucked. It sucked. It sucked. It sucked.
Mm-hmm.
After effect, like the garden says, the sun will come after the rain. Like, man, it night and day after. Some people don't make it through that process, and my heart goes out to those people. But when you sit, that's the only way you can really make it through loving yourself. It's the only way.
Yeah. And thank you for being so honest and vulnerable and answering the question, because it's so important, guys. When we have stuff we go through, you just got to sit with it. It doesn't feel good. You might feel angry. You might be crying, but sit with it, because it will be so beneficial for you when you get through the other side and you work through the trauma that you're feeling.
Yeah, and then I find the best ways to do things too is finding ways to exert that energy, because in reality our entire system is this powerful force of energy, and you have an option to take that built up energy of whatever it is that you're feeling, and it has to be transmuted in some way, shape, or form. The body is a natural alchemist. So the reason why you're feeling icky and you feel like you can't love yourself is because there's something there telling you that it needs to be in balance. And the moment you say go, and let's say for me, like, I'll go nature is my balance, or music is my balance, and sometimes writing it out is a benefit for me, you know what I mean? And just finding ways to tap into that energy and to not feel that energy anymore is so important. Go take your shoes off and walk in the grass. Go dog, go lie in the grass, go take the sun in. It's so important. All these different things are beautiful sources of understanding how to love yourself,
I love that. Take a walk, write down your feelings, call a friend, go sit outside in the sun for 5 minutes. It's like, these are all free things that we have the accessibility to do. And also, Zany Laney, I'm just gonna like wrap it up with this comment because it's beautiful. Says, I love your vulnerability, your intensity, your passion, your openness. I am so thankful to have met you. Oh my gosh, what a sweet comment. Oh my gosh, Laney.
I love you.
That is so beautiful. I know you have only 8% left on your phone, probably like 5% now. But Paige, do you have any final words for the room?
Yes, I do. It's at 7%, so we're golden. Yeah, we're good. If you guys want to ask more questions, you can. But if I let's talk about the subject of unconditional love. From one of the things that I've been understanding about unconditional love and what that truly is, we have this beautiful conditional way that we view things. You know, our world has taught us so much, movies and all these things. But the best way that you can unconditionally love yourself is to be vulnerable. I think the best way that you can also express that love to other people is through that vulnerability. So if you're sitting in front of a person and that person allows you to just literally let go of all the guards that you have, that is loving yourself. And understand that is loving yourself. When you no longer feel restraints to be something that you're not, that is the definition of unconditional love. And sit in that place, recognize those things, observe how you feel in that and what you are bringing up in your system and how your body responds to it. It's so important.
Yeah. Paige, mic drop. I mean, I don't even know if I can follow up with anything after that. Like, I need you to be my life coach, Paige.
No, you don't want that. I'm a hot mess.
I just think you're so amazing. I could listen to you talk all day because it just like you radiate positivity and rawness and honesty. And I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you so much for coming back on my show. Paige, please, please, please come back anytime.
Hey, hit me up again. Let's do this again.
Please. I love talking to you. You're so amazing. Guys, go see Paige on tour, stream the music, add it to your playlist, share it with your friends, give Paige a follow. And guys, if you don't already, make sure to follow me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Live. Follow Paige, follow me, support good music, be kind, and take care of yourself. Go for a walk, let out a cry. It is healthy to do that.
Yes, I love it. Go breathe some air. It's great.
Get some air. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next time.